What's something someone said to you that crushed your confidence? After 9 years of marriage, she was a virgin when we started dating. Edited for clarity. I need to find out if sex can be better with others. I want to try a threesome with 2 guys, just not with you. And then came the real kicker. After 9 years of saying she didn't want kids, I did, but had talked myself into giving up on that to stay happy. I've decided I want kids, just not with you. Yes, all these were in one night. I had a coach that gave me an award for soccer when I was 10. The award was for being the team MVP. The coach was extremely hard to please, and he didn't like me too much. Our team had a mediocre record, with some wins, but more losses than wins. After he gives me the award, he says, "Name, you were never good. You were just less terrible than everyone else on the team. You have no career in soccer." I never played soccer again. Fuck you, Coach Steve. My mother once told me I was 5 minutes away from being an abortion and she wished she'd followed through. That was almost 20 years ago and it still messes with my confidence. I've always been nerdy in school, even as a young child. In the 6th grade, I was going through a lot and had some traumatic experiences occur. I became depressed and not as interested in school. However, I tried my best. One day, my teacher was comparing the intellectuals of the class and was naming all of the students who she predicts will get into good colleges. She didn't name me. This girl, who prior to this action, I disliked and thought of her as jerk, raised her hand and said, "What about him never giving guy up? She's one of the smartest kids in the whole school." My teacher looked at me and said she'll get into college, but not a good one. It seriously made me want to give up. I lost a lot of my motivation. My wife has said 2 things recently that absolutely crushed me. I had developed a couple of warts on my hands. She told me she wanted to have sex, but asked that I not touch her. I politely declined. A couple of weeks later she flat out told me she no longer found me attractive. That stung. That was about 4 months ago. I've since lost 35 pounds, now at a respectable 205, and the warts are gone. Now she can't keep her hands off me. The problem is, I'm not so sure I wanna have sex with her anymore. Go figure. A few years back I got on a dating site. Around that same time my hairline was starting to recede a little bit, and I was very sensitive about it. I saw this one girl's profile, liked it and decided to write her a message asking if she wanted to go on a date and have a couple of drinks. Her response consisted of only one question. "One for every hair on your head?" My confidence was absolutely crushed for a long time after that. 3 for me. In high school, a girl thought I liked her and burst into tears. After college, my GF at the time would randomly say, "What are you doing during sex?" Luckily I met a super freak, and my confidence was greatly restored. A chick I know went on a blind date, basically ended it quick, and treated the guy like shit. I asked why. She responded, "He looked like you www. open bracket." Edit. The second one has called me randomly over the years to say she is a squirter now and wants to hook up. I think this is because the super freak was basically hiring a town crier to tell her friends how awesome our sex was. She even brought friends along at times. The third chick, I don't know. I remember she was drunk one night and was giving me the "if not for my dude I would wanna do something" look. Previous to the whole EWW statement she was drunk another night and was trying to chew on my neck. I just labeled her crazed and give her lots of space. She is also longtime friends with the super freak ex, so I don't even know what's going on in her head. I'm of Italian descent, and my father and his father are all hairy beasts, so naturally, in junior high, I was told I had gorilla legs, so I didn't wear shorts to school until the end of high school. In high school, I was told my eyebrows were too thick, so I started waxing them because I was so embarrassed. Then I got over it all, 'cause who cares? When I went to my high school counselor halfway through grade 11 and told him I was serious about getting into University of Guelph, Canada, he told me that there was no point in trying and I'd never get in. He completely brushed me off as another stupid kid wasting his time. Maybe he didn't realize, but it honestly was a soul-crushing thing to hear. I had screwed up badly with my grades the first couple of years, high school being a hell of a thing with drugs and social acceptance. I had just started to turn things around when this meeting took place. When I told my dad about this meeting, I don't think I've ever seen him so pissed off. He was definitely ready to beat the shit out of this counselor. Regardless, he sat me down and told me that I was smart enough to do anything that I wanted to do, and this guy was just a bitter high school counselor who wanted to see me fail to make himself feel better. This was a life-changing moment, and I did a complete 180 and pounded out nothing but high 90s, collecting some awards at graduation for being the top in certain courses. I got accepted to Gulf and my backup school for their chemical programs too, and I still remember how nervous I was and how much it meant to me when I got that letter in the mail. I made an appointment near the end of grade 12 with the same counselor, and maybe it was childish looking back on it, but I brought in my 2 acceptance letters, looked him in the eye, and said, "Last year you told me this wouldn't happen. Well, I got into both of these schools. I didn't do it because of you. I did it despite you." After 13 years in a mentally abusive relationship, I pretty much heard everything horrible. Towards the end, he had asked me to marry him, and I said yes. A few weeks later I asked him, "Why have you asked me to marry you after all this time?" I was hoping for something along the lines of "I love you," but no. I got, "It's been so long, I guess I just feel like I owe it to you now." He was rad. I broke my nose 3 times before I was 2 years old. This has resulted in a somewhat odd voice. I'm very conscious of how nasal it is, and also a destroyed sense of smell. A female coworker told me once that I always smell like fesses. Bam. Self-conscious about that. Since I heard it, I already showered every day, applied deodorant religiously, wore clean clothes constantly, no sniff tests for me, etc. She just told me that my efforts had all been in vain. I don't even know what else I can do. I can't smell. I live with the specter of being a social pariah looming over me, and being literally physically incapable of telling that it's there. I was told to withdraw from university because I was the worst student he ever had by a professor during office hours for asking a question about Taylor expansions. This was in front of a whole bunch of my friends and classmates. I never went to his office hours after that, and then ended up doing really poorly in the class, causing me to retake it the next year. Took a while to get back my confidence. I eventually got my degree. He's still an asshole. I'm a stay-at-home dad. Yesterday I was explaining to my 4-year-old daughter what skills are, and how her mom has skills, teacher, her grandpa, mechanic, and so on. She asked me if I had any skills. I told her that I take care of all my girls, including her mom, and the whole house. She just laughs at me and says, "Daddy, that's not skills." Out at a bar, newly single, a little overweight, but working on it as best I can. Me, "Can I buy you a drink?" Huh, giggles, "What's your cup size?" I can't wait until I complete my journey of diet and exercise. Then, I can find her, take her out for the night of her life, and show her how wonderful life can be. Then dump her in the middle of nowhere, and show her a picture of me now. That way she gets to see what being a shallow asshole cost her. Or yay, vengeance. I have a friend who I respect very much, and who I really look up to. About 6 years ago, we were driving in the car one time listening to Rise Against, and we were both singing along. After Like the Angel ended, he turned to me and said, "Dude, I don't want to be a dick, but you are the most tone-deaf person I have ever known." Not the most hurtful thing, but I flash back to that every time I've tried to sing since then. I was showing my mother my newly purchased condo, and she decided that I needed new pillows. Hey, free stuff. They had 2 pillowcases in each bag, and a 2-for-1 deal on pillows. My mother goes, "I'll just get one. It's not like you are going to have anyone over." She was dead serious. From my father, just talking over breakfast one morning, he says, "It's a good thing you are single. That way you won't ever be tied down with a family and can just move around wherever the work takes you." That was a double hurt.